Johnny,
Yeah, Johnny, yeah. Okay, Mike Walton, PCB, surface mount, take one.
Right, so we're gonna solder a 1210 surface mount part down on this circuit board. We're gonna start with a 0.1 microfarad, which is 100 nanofarad. Now we know by looking at the schematic that we have a C5 is a 100 nanofarad. The C5 is down here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tin one of the pads, only one of them. I start by using flux. Flux is definitely our friend when we're soldering because it helps the solder flow nice. And I put lots of flux over the component part that I want to solder. I then take my soldering iron. Now, a lot of people will have arguments about the temperature of the soldering iron. You can't just pick a number. We know that this board has got a ground plane, so it's going to absorb a lot of the thermal heat from the iron. And the tip's not the best, so we need to use a bit of feel. At the moment, I'm at 377 degrees.
Just turn the soldering iron station round just so we can see the numbers on the front. Thank you.
377 degrees.
Okay, brilliant.
Okay, so this is lead-free solder, which typically needs a bit more heat. So what I've done is I've fluxed my pads. I'm going to heat up one pad by placing the soldering iron onto it. Let the heat absorb in there a bit, and then as I slowly feed the solder in, eventually we will melt and it will flow and it will tin that one pad. Can you see that?
Yes.
The solder is now placed on one pad. Okay, I clean my iron. Now, I'm going to add a little bit more flux because the heat makes the flux evaporate, which is why it's used. Take my 100 nanofarad capacitor. I'm going to take the 100 nanofarad capacitor out of the tape. I do shake a bit, by the way, so okay. Out there. Okay. Now. Okay, so now I have a 100 nanofarad capacitor here, and I'm going to place it near my pad. Okay. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to heat that pad up. I'm going to make the solder reflow by heating it up, and I'm going to push this capacitor onto that pad. But it's only going to work when that solder is flowing. Now you'll know when that solder is flowing because you will see it goes shiny. See that? It's gone shiny?
Yes.
Now I push my capacitor in, I take my soldering iron away. Now that the solder will set again, and the capacitor is soldered on one side. Yeah? Okay, so I pushed it into the molten solder. Now, I add a bit more flux on the other side. Now to solder the other side is a little bit simpler now because it's already in place. So all I do is I heat up the pad first because solder ain't going to flow if it's not hot. And then I feed in a little bit of solder, and when it's hot enough, it will start reflowing, and there we go. Can you see that? Perfect solder joint, yes?
Yes.
So to check that, what we can do then is we can get our little magnifier, whatever we're using. We can stick it over there. We can see that both sides relatively nicely soldered. Yeah? Excellent. That's how you solder a surface mount component. Now that's one of the smallest components you need to do. So if you follow that same principle with the SO8 part, the chip, you'll just tin one pad, put the tip on, solder that one pad, then go through all the other exactly the same way. Yeah?
Yes.
So everything will be done in the same technique. One pad first, get the component in place, then finish off the pads.
Okay.
And don't forget the flux.
Thank you, sir.